Hi guys, welcome to the Celtic Manor course. Here we go, we're going to go out on the Roman road. It's horrifically windy today, so you know, I'm looking for possibly trying to scab it round in some sort of lowish score if I can. Something around level par, I'll be over the moon with. It's so windy, I don't even know whether you can hear this, because the wind's buffering me around all over the place. But let's get out there, see what we can do, and you know, I'll try and explain to you and show you how to manage the wind and hopefully save from going really high. You know, we want to try and keep the score under maybe 5 over for me, sort of playing off +1. If I could sort of keep it under 5 or 4 over in this wind, I will be really happy. So we'll see. I've done some practice putting and not much for warm-up, so we've got all that to look forward to when we get out there. Anyway, see you on the course. Over to Stu above and creepy voice over from the director's choice.
Thanks very much, and that was a good old load of excuses I was making there just because we had a bit of wind. Onto the first, 490 yards, nice long first start par 4, just some bunkers at the left that I'm trying my hardest to, anywhere right basically is good. The fairway is the best shot obviously, but just trying to steer clear of the bunkers at the left because that gives you no chance of getting to the green. Anything right there's a good chance, and I hit a pretty good shot down here, even though it was only 238 yards because of the wind, leaving me 205 yards to the green. I'm just practicing holding my hands nice and low to try and keep a nice stinger down under the wind. It's the only way of getting this ball going, and I just rehearsed it and pulled it off pretty good. I was happy with this. Had no idea what was coming ahead of me, but pretty happy with this shot. It's off a bit of a lie there. This is a fearsome bunker shot. 31 yards, no green to play with. I just kind of walked in thinking, oh, here we go, it's going to be a bad day. So I really had no pressure on in my head, and just splashed this one out so well. That's kind of one of the shots of the day really already. So I'm feeling pretty good with myself. This pin actually, this putt looks longer than it is. This was a pretty good bunker shot, so it was only a couple of paces. So I was feeling fairly confident about putting that one in. And good par at the first, which is great. 490, you know, kind of into. Now we're slightly down the wind. 575, par 5. Second hole. Again, we've got bunkers down the left and bunkers down the right. Now, because we are downwind, I have actually got to hit it straight on that arrow there. Otherwise, I'm going to be in one or the other set of bunkers. But it is a par 5, so I can open my shoulders because I can always splash out that bunker and still make a par easy enough, but luckily because of that I've hit it straight down the middle. Really happy with that tee shot. Flew pretty well. So the drive was 276, that was a little bit better for the old stats. 235 to the green. Just try and get this one up in the air a bit, and yeah, pretty happy with that shot. It's a little bit short. It was quite a long carry for that 3-wood, so and where that pin was, I was trying to feather it into the green to the left of that, but left myself this another bunker shot. But I've just had one, so I'm feeling pretty good about these bunker shots right now, and splashed that one out kind of because it was straight down the wind there. It kind of rolled out. It always makes it much more difficult, even with getting the control out of the bunker. You kind of lose it because of the wind. So I've left myself with, what's this, kind of 15 feet, which is a bit of an outside birdie chance. Bit disappointed really, if I'm honest, because I would have wanted this birdie putt there to be a lot shorter. This is no give me for par, but I managed to knock it in. That is a shame, a par 5 down, so I'm already thinking that is a bit of a chance gone. So now we're back into the wind now. Again, we got bunkers brilliantly placed on this Roman Road golf course at Celtic Manor. The bunker placements are great, so I'm trying to just kind of feed it between these two bunkers, but I have to give it a bit of a whack because we're into the wind and it's a fairly long hole. And luckily, obviously, this day's turning out quite well. I'm swinging it pretty good, so I'm pretty much in the middle of the fairway there. But look at that, I only hit it 218 yards. That's how strong the wind was. 189 to the green, so I'm just thinking, man, I'm just going to have to belt this with a 3-wood. But then kind of came to my senses and went back to the 3-iron. thought I'd kind of try and I'm just rehearsing there again to try and hit a stinger under the wind, just trying to keep it bullet underneath, otherwise it's gone. And try and just put a good swing, stay with it. Really good shot again there. I'm starting to feel pretty good about the swing. Holding it down, I'm controlling my ball flight, which is absolutely key on windy days like this. This is not kind of a close birdie putt, but on this hole, considering my tee shot was only 220 yards, I'm feeling pretty good about this 2-putt here for par. And it was, yeah, pretty good attempt really. It's a nice get away with a nice easy par on this hole. That was a job well done. Okay, so now we are, we're kind of across the wind a little bit here. 224 yards. It's a 4-iron, which is a little bit strong for me, to be honest. I should be hitting really a bit less, but I was going to hold it down because I didn't want it to get up in the wind and start flying miles. Held it down a bit too much, and has left me with hitting it a little bit short with that 4-iron. 23 yards to the pin, 60. Now there's a big slope in the green, but I'm just thinking if I can float it up in the air as high as possible, it's going to hit that slope and just roll out. And it takes the slope and rolls down perfectly. Now this is the kind of thing that you could expect maybe twice out of 10 shots, certainly to get this close. But then you've always got the chance of rolling it to 8 or 9 foot and then holding that putt. So an up and down is always really on the cards. So I managed to hold that one for a par. I'm kind of sort of surviving my way around it at the moment. The weather's about to take a bit of a turn for the worse, but it's a par 5, 500 odd yards. So we've got a bunker on the right once again. We've got to be at that arrow or just slightly to the left, or be able to carry that bunker on the right. I've put a really good swing on this one. It's gone dead straight, held its line, and stayed out of trouble. So I'm feeling like I'm in a pretty good position here. When we get down, I can feel the rain starting to come in. Only 246 once again. Not long driving today. It's pretty wet, but 211 into the green. Now I can normally hit it over that tree on the left, but I knew that I didn't want to send it up there because I would lose so much control. So I hit a kind of low stinger down there, just trying to position me into about a sort of 80 or 90 yard slot. And look at the rain, is tumbling down now. So just a little wedge shot in here, and pulled it just a little bit unfortunately, but I'm just trying to keep myself from getting too wet at this point. I was almost thinking of going in at that point because it was getting so nasty, but then it cleared up a bit. It's just still really windy. Got this putt for birdie up the hill. This is not particularly close actually. This is kind of like a 25 footer, so had a bit of a go at it. It's nice that I felt good that I was at least, my distance on my wedge was good. That was pin high. It's always a good tick. If you can get pin high, you're always going to be fairly close. It's almost sometimes more important than the angle rather than getting it pin high. Here we go on to this is a short one, 364, but it is up a big hill, so it takes away any chance of really getting it to the green. But if I can get it up near that cluster of bunkers on the left, I'm usually doing pretty well. So aiming at the arrow and just try and peel it off to the right there, because it runs away from the bunkers and runs across the fairway into it's kind of the middle of the fairway, which is what I was thinking. And I hit that one pretty good. I mean, everything's going pretty well right now, to be honest with you. Again, 228, not a long tee shot, up that hill, 84 to the pin. I got my 54 out. I'm feeling pretty good because I've hit some good wedges in. That last wedge was nice and pin high. This pin was cut on the right. Look at that divot. God, I'm gonna have to go miles to get that divot. So, but floated it up really nicely. Just checked on the front edge and rolled up to this. This birdie putt is pretty much a kick in. It's only a couple of foot at most, so, and straight up the hill. Although the wind's blowing hellishly from left to right, you can see it there with the flag. But I'm getting myself under par, and I can't believe it. I'm thinking, my God, this day today is going on much better than I thought. So I've had a few good up and downs and hit a few good shots into the greens. And this is a par 3, so the 7th, 163 yards. This is all systems go. Every time I've played this hole, I've only played this course 3 times since I've been here. And every time I've played it, I've hit a pretty good shot, so it just sort of suits my eye. So I pick out an 8 iron at this point, and 153 is probably playing just under that. But I'm just feeling if I can just hit a nice smooth one into the middle of the green, which is where the pin's situated, It's going to be all good. Really good swing on that, perfect balance, and I could have stood and watched that all day. It was going straight out the pin, and I honestly thought it had gone in. My biggest disappointment was the fact that I knew the camera couldn't see it go in case it did.
Well, that was an exciting 5 minutes. My gosh, I so thought that was almost resting up against the flag. Nearly had an ace cam on the ace cam. There you go. Pitched here. Just rolled out to there. I think I can manage that one.
Nice. I've always been absolutely deadly from 2 inches. So that was a nice birdie to go to 2 under. But I know I've got a few tricky holes, but I have got a par 5 coming up. This is one of the tricky holes. You have to hit a good tee shot. That bunker down the right, you've probably seen in my previous vlog, is 478 to the pin, so it's a solid hole. I just want to stay left of that bunker, and so I've sort of overshaped it there. But I think it's a nice, solid straight shot down the middle around the bunker, which I'm happy about. And that one flew really well. It was down the wind, and the wind is pretty strong, but it's 301 yards there in great position, 137. 9 on, all systems go. I'm just staring straight at the flag right now, feeling like I've just hit a good shot into the last, so I'm trying to convince myself I'm going to knock this one in nice and close. Hit an okay shot, but the wind's taking it slightly to the right, but again my distance control is really working out quite nice, so it's left me not the shortest of birdie putts, but we're pin high again, and I'm just thinking of cozying this down next to the hole. It's got about a foot right to left on it. Putt for birdie, just rolling it down there. And I'm sorry about the fist pump there. I think I'm getting a little bit excited. 3 under on this day. I was thinking, come on, here we go.
Come on.
But there's no need for the old fist bump. So on to the 9th hole, and this is a par 5, because I'm thinking this is a definite good chance now to make it to 4 under, because this plays a bit of a par 4 for me. So if I can just make sure I can hit it down the middle. You just don't want to hit it too far right, because it slopes from right to left. So I'm thinking anything left is fine. So here we go, drive 263 was okay, 197 to the pin, 4 unselected, but it is up a bit of a slope this, and this is a little bit of a judgment mistake here. I thought I could just get it up there, and sadly it was on line. Pretty good strike, but in the bunker short. So I could have done with at least one more club there. I just didn't want to take the 3 because I didn't want to come in so flat and run into the back of the green. But this is a 23-yard bunker shot, got my 60 degree. As you know, I've hit a couple of good bunker shots, so I'm feeling pretty good about this one. I think I can control it up there nice and close. And sure enough, I play it out really nice. That's a good shot there. Down the wind as well, I managed to keep a bit more control on that. I was just trying my hardest to get a bit of spin on that so it doesn't just roll to the back of the green. And sure enough, I've rolled it up pretty close there. Just this nice tap in for a birdie 4, which is, to be honest, what I expected, so that kind of plays like a bit of a par 4. But that's -4, and I'm feeling really tickled with myself after all the whinging and moaning in the start. It just shows that you can work yourself up to a good round as long as you can just plot yourself around. Like my average tee shot there, I know I hit 300, but there was a couple that were under 230 yards. Now it was windy, and it does make a big difference with your ball flight how you strike it in these winds. So if you just get a little bit steep on it, it can make you look really stupid. So I was just thinking into the wind, if I can get it past, get it up to the 220 to 250 yard, it will leave me a shot in. And of course then I know that I've got the wind coming back where I can hit it 300 plus, and a couple of those are par 5, so it makes a big difference to the scorecard. You've just got to kind of take those punches as they come. If you make a bogey into the wind, as long as you know that you've got maybe a par 5 or you've got some shorter holes coming back down the wind, it's not the end of the world. You know, don't panic and freak out. As it happens, like up the first, I was able to get up and down, so that was, you know, a 490 yard par 4 into the wind, I did it driver 3-wood, but then I had a really good up and down. So these are feeling like birdies to me at that point. There was a few kind of longer holes. I didn't take advantage of the second par 5. I mean, I would have been 5 under if that was the case, but I did make a couple of good putts, as we saw, and I hit a lot of good tee shots, a lot of straight tee shots. They were certainly far enough for me to get to the green. But as you can see, you can plot your way around. You do have to control that ball flight. You have to keep those flights down when you're into, and obviously try and send it up as much as possible when you're down, as long as the pins aren't at the front. And actually thinking about it, there was a few of these, the par 5s where the pins were on the front, and I left it short, which made for a more difficult chip shot. But if you can remember, both of the ones I left short were in bunkers. In fact, all 3 of them were in bunkers, so I do get a lot better spin out of bunkers, especially at the moment as we're raking and placing, because we're not raking because there's no rakes in the bunkers at the moment because of COVID, but it does mean that I can put it on a really good lie. So that gives me a much better chance, to be honest. Even though I'm playing out of kind of very wet sand, it is a little bit easier for me to control it. So I guess there's fors and against for all of this. But really happy so far. Through the first 9 holes in 4 under, feeling really good going to the 10th. I grabbed myself a quick bacon roll and I'm on to the 10th, and I'll see you next week with the back 9. I'm not going to do any spoilers at this point, but I'm feeling pretty good. But there is a lot of wind out there, so fingers crossed we can go super low. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.